Okay, news of the week. Everybody still has the same issues that they had as far as we know. These guys still have a lot of the upper respiratory sounds. The good news is that they aren't sneezing so much. So I feel like the neighbors want to come over and play for this. Guys, you were so close to being able to be best friends. Um, Okay, they still have a lot of the upper respiratory sound, like they sound like they're snorting a lot because they obviously have some snot like up in their sinuses. But I don't see much leakage and I don't see much sneezing, so I feel like they're probably not as much in the contagious stage of their little infections. So that's why I'm willing to do mailbag here and why I've been willing to sort of come in and hang out a bit. Um, our next door neighbors seem like they're perfectly healthy, and the Rainbow Room also still has just a little bit of sneezing going on, but not a lot, not enough that I'm especially worried about it. So all in all, I feel like we're definitely looking positive at this point. Obviously, the big thing is the ringworm, or I should say, it's big from a like, can we control the contagion perspective, not from like this is a problem because it's really not a problem in any sense. It's basically athlete's foot for cats, and it's not a big deal. If we never manage to get rid of it, it'll go away on its own in a couple months. But that said, at this point, I've done so much treatment of everybody. We've done the lime sulfur baths. We've done the oral medicine. I've been cleaning the rooms a lot and spraying it down with accelerated hydrogen peroxide. And as of yesterday, I'm just saying I think that we've got it completely licked, and I'm just going to treat it as though it's done here until I see some sign that it's not. So at this point, I'm just saying we're done with the ringworm, and if I see any new infection, then we'll go from there. That said, there's one kind of exception to that, which is Cloak. Now, Cape here, you can see she's got that bald spot on her ear. That's why I think it was just yesterday we gave her like little special extra attention there. We got the sulfur bath again for everybody in the room. We sterilized the room another time. I think that's now just a bald spot that's going to fill in. Fingers crossed. In the other room, Cloak does still have some bald spots around like she's had. I don't think that they're growing any at this point. I feel like we probably hopefully have it licked, but she's my major, like my one last concern because I haven't really been able to give her the sulfur bath. She got one, which went fine once we got into it, but getting her into it, getting her to the bathroom to be sprayed down and all that stuff was very difficult for her. And I tried to give her a second one, but I never even got as far as taking her out of the room. And it's because she's so shy about being picked up. Like being picked up is a major trigger for her as far as like being afraid of what's happening. You might have seen, like yesterday, I spent a lot of time in there just petting her and being best friends, and she gets so cuddly, it's really sweet. I've been slowly encouraging her to come up onto the beanbag chair to get her pets and to get her treats so that she's starting to get used to sit on my lap, because that's a good, step in earning that trust before we can even get to picking her up. But she's so nervous about it that even on like a double dose of gabapentin, still can't pick her up without totally having her flip out. And when she flips out, she's not like attacking me or anything generally, unless she's really, really upset. She just wants to get away. She just gets into this like total panic mode, and it's serious for her. Like it's a big deal. So when I tried giving her the gabapentin, I tried picking her up. She wasn't having it. I didn't want to stress her out. I was like, all right, if you're not going to easily go, then we're just going to skip it. We should be fine on just the oral meds for her. She's so easy to give oral medication to because you put it in a treat and she will eat anything. If you put it in like a tube of churu and mix it up, even if it's something that tastes really bad like metronidazole, she doesn't mind at all. If the treat's there, she's going to eat it. So that's good, and that means that she got all the oral medicine that she should. I might start her on a second course of the oral medicine, just as like a, fingers crossed, like a belt and suspenders kind of a deal. She's the only one, though, that I feel like may not have been sufficiently treated. Hopefully, though, I'm keeping the room sterile enough that she's not able to pass it on to anybody. Haven't seen the slightest sign of it in her kittens, and I'm still giving them baths until I know for sure that she's done. So, fingers crossed. At this point, I'm willing to say the ringworm is finished here, and we'll just kind of keep an eye on Cloak to make sure that that it is. So, you know, we might still do a little bit with her, just to be absolutely certain. So, the big question then is basically about when can these kids go downstairs? When can we start combining the classrooms? And I know the last thing I said about it was that I didn't want to jump the gun on that, and I don't want to jump the gun on it, but man, these kids are so cooped up in this room. It is tough on these guys. The other kids we've all sort of started to manage to let out a little bit, or at least to bring to the spa, because I don't think anybody in the rainbow room is particularly bad, and I don't feel like these kids in the other room have any trouble at all right now. So bringing them into the spa for some socialization, a little something different, has been good for them. These guys have had not much opportunity to do that yet, and again, it's because of that upper respiratory that they're just all so snorty about. But I hope we're getting towards the end of that now. We're doing everything we can to help get rid of it, and I cleaned up the room downstairs, so whether they're entirely over it or not, I might move them downstairs in the next few days. Just regardless, because they need more space. You know, this is not a big enough room for these kinds of kittens here. I think that's it for news, though. That's basically everything. You know the state of all the kittens. They're fine. You know, I feel like I wish we could just get this stuff over with, but as far as it goes, they're fine. You know, they're all happy and they're all playing and they're all eating and they're all gaining tons of weight. These kids are getting so big so fast. So I'm gonna see, you know, how much. I think it's only the ringworm that's a concern as far as getting most of them fixed. I doubt that she would want to do these guys while they still sound stuffy like they do. But for everybody else, if we know that the ringworm is clear, then we can probably start scheduling spays and neuters for a lot of them. You know, Jumper, the two moms for sure. You're playing with a piece of litter? Come on, you can do better than that. Yeah, and then whoever in this room we can decide isn't all snorty, we can probably schedule right away, but the ones that are probably going to have to wait a little bit, so. That's where we're at. I've really enjoyed watching Romper and Tutu come around to eating real food and Cloak get over her great expedition to the basement. Funny as that was to watch, I hope it never happens again. You don't need the stress. I did, we've still got the air purifier sitting on the vent in there, but I did also use some VBH to put the vent down on the floor so it won't come up. VHB, very high bond, I think is what that stands for. It's a 3M product. It's a double-sided tape, but it is the stickiest tape like you could ever imagine. And you've all seen it. It's like what you get if you buy an accessory that is adhesive that you put on your cell phone, for instance. They all use VHB for that. But just the tiniest little piece of it will hold something fantastic. So I'm pretty sure that thing is on there now.